Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Iron Panther Presents. Today, we got Jamani and we got Stacy. Kim is coming soon as we discuss Reasonable Doubt, Season 1, Episode 4. I'm not sure why Stacy made that face. That's not what I meant. But we will discuss whatever. I was like, I don't know. Maybe she will. But anyway, we're discussing the O.J. Simpson episode, I feel, as we look at Braden's racial-based defense for some reason. But anyway, how do we feel about this episode? What did we learn? Not much, really, but let's get to it. Jamani, start us off. What one thing would you like to say is your top issue that you like to discuss with this episode, please?
Top issue is the jury selection episode, is the scene, but can I just backdate a little bit to the episode previous?
Please.
I this morning in preparation, I rewatched one particular scene just to make sure that my mind wasn't playing tricks on me. Right?
The song.
The part where they take the dog to the hospital, right?
Yes.
And the doctor says, yeah, she's menstruating or, having her time of the month. And she says, if you're not good with that, there are options.
That's what I was tripping off.
And I was
no
like,
idea.
and then they
delay
just
this shit.
Like fade to black in the scene. And then I was like, this is, even when I watched it the first time, I was like, this is unrealistic as far as them. Usually the parents would talk in the doctor's office on the way home. They didn't say one word. She puts in the code to get home. They go to her bedroom and then they start a conversation. Like complete silence until they get in her bedroom, right? And that's when they start talking about everything. And I was like, well, what were the options? And we didn't see her at all this episode. We saw Jack's friends, but no daughter. And I'm like, we see the whole obsession with Jack's not wanting her son to lock the door and stuff. And I was just like, okay, the daughter just disappeared. Where have I seen that before? Family Matters. This seems like a real Judy Winslow, go upstairs
and never come back
down. And I'm like, I don't know. She didn't know that much about sex and all this type of stuff. Maybe she overheard the whole donkey dick conversation, which they showed in the previously on. They didn't show the whole Will making breakfast and being obsessive. They just showed that conversation. And I was like, that seems very out of context for what is to come, but okay. And I was like, maybe she went online and Googled what that was. And, she's off in, Judy Winslow land doing stuff and we're never going to see her again.
She's back there with Yaz. But I mean, just hanging out. I mean, that's and Braden's two kids who we just saw for no fucking reason. Like, I'm like, what? I was like, where? Your daddy just got out of jail like last episode. Like, shouldn't you been by his side? Like, when he came downstairs, like, daddy, are you okay? Because you smell like prison. But like, I mean, like none of that happened. I was like, they were just like, I'm about to go to school because we're light skinned as fuck. I mean, that casting was on point though. Some of them kids said we are biracial. Like, I believe that. Like, I'm big on casting not looking right. But jury selection. So we got issues with the jury selection. What are your thoughts on the jury selection part though?
Okay. He's a billionaire, a potential billionaire. He only has one lawyer, one criminal lawyer. Like, why is Rich should have not been past the first episode? He serves no purpose anymore. Like,
yeah, he's the white comic relief and soon to be a villain.
Yeah, I was like, is this like reverse affirmative action or something? Like, I don't know. It felt like John Voight and Rosewood. It was like,
you just have to be there. You have to be there, or we'll get fined. But
but I'm like, people hire teams. There's Runaway Jury, the movie that shows you hire jury experts to help pick a jury.
I got a gut. I got a gut. I don't need consultants. I got a. Well, actually, they did hire. So hold on. So Stacey, what did you think of either the birth control scene, which never went anywhere, or the jury selection scene?
First, the period scene. Where was this miracle drug when I was a child? Like, I would have delayed that shit till I was like 30. Like, I didn't know that was a thing. You just make it stop and start when you wanted to. Well, maybe.
It's a Disney show. It's a Disney show.
And then the whole one criminal lawyer, and apparently Jax is like the only competent criminal lawyer in this entire firm. And she's the only one that's handling the case. It's a little weird. And how do they know who all these jurors are on the spot? Doesn't
Yeah.
You're not supposed to. That's
and the
why
whole
they say juror
daddy,
number.
yes, the whole my daddy wants to be a juror, and he looking like Pookie, and of course he doesn't vote. Like, if you don't vote, well, you have to be registered to vote to be on a jury.
I thought.
But is he registered? He just doesn't bother.
It does
to
it
vote?
on different states. Sometimes they do tax records. You know,
He clearly don't. You know what? I'm not even gonna say
Like,
that.
he don't pay tax. Like you can tell he's not a taxpayer. But to this point,
I was about to say he didn't own any property. Whatever.
Don't be like that. But the fact that she was like, my daddy could be a juror because he's black and he like black people, and so he might vote. He might find Braden not guilty because he's black. And she was like, that's an idea, guys. Like, that's where we need to be. Blackness. Like, the jury selection piece, you really got to back up to the team meeting, which was Braden's not. Huh?
It's a team meeting. This is a legal secretary. She's not a paralegal. She's not an associate. Jackson's a partner without any associates, without any paralegals. But the legal secretaries in the meeting is putting personal family photos into the PowerPoint. I'm like,
what?
Yeah.
But what's the point of the meeting? So we're looking at Braden and basically saying, first, he's not black enough for black people. That he didn't get his black card until Kalisha showed up or some stupid shit. So then they have to fix that problem because we got to make him black. So then they go to JT's outreach event to blacken him up.
But that's some Olivia Poping. That's public relations. That's not a trial strategy. What is the trial strategy?
Yes. Stacey?
Because you pick a jury based on your trial strategy. This is the story we're going with. This happened. He says he wasn't there. Whatever the story is, right? Who are the people that are going to buy this story? Not buy into a person, because you can see Jeffrey Dahmer. People, like him, or, but yeah, he ate people. Nah, he's going to jail. You see, the Parkland shooter. They said, oh, he was abused as a child. And that saved him from the needle, because they gave a little heartwarming story. Even after he killed a whole bunch of kids, they felt sorry about his childhood. Yeah. Because they gave a compelling story. I mean, where is the narrative? There's no strategy.
I am too.
The strategy is he had an NDA signed by the victim, and therefore he had no motive. The end.
That is the motive. If I make you do something under duress and then kill you immediately afterwards so that you can't say it was under duress.
Well, then, so to both these issues, right? So the establishes we don't know what he's charged with. They have not established actual charges. We established a crime. We did not establish charges. First degree, second degree, depraved indifference, whatever the fuck. Like, we don't know what he's charged with. The evidence that should have been presented, as you pointed out, is the fucking one. They got fingerprints. They do got fingerprints, right? But where's the fingerprint expert to challenge that? To be like that, those fingerprints could have been there last week, last year. Like, I mean,
there's no disclosure. The prosecution didn't deliver any disclosure.
You're asking for an actual Real Legal show. but these are good points. There's no disclosure. The DNA from the condom hasn't come back yet. To your point of narrative, what do they say happened? How do they say Kalisha got murdered? And what are we saying how Kalisha got murdered and who could have did it? And these are the potential suspects that we're going to throw at them. None of that.
I like what you're saying, because that's the way I was thinking when you brought up the whole thing with JT. He tells the story, and I'm like, there's no lawyer in the world that would have let him tell that story he told for I don't know how many reasons, right? Like you just said, you discussed last week. It was a wine stem, right? He goes and talks about how he doesn't like guns. Whoa! We don't need comments like that, because now you're basically providing proof for why you would use that as a murder weapon.
I did not even think of it as such. That he actually said, well, then what is your preferred weapon when you're being accosted? I prefer knives. I'm a stabber. I'm more of a stabber. Well, so I wanted to get Stacey's look at what do you think of the outreach scene with JT and the Black community?
It's just, of course, the wealthy Black man. He was what, a football player or basketball player?
JT is, yes.
Yeah, so he couldn't have been like, business owner or something. Why does gun and violence equal Blackness? Why does hood shit equal Blackness? Like, he could have just been from a regular middle class family, went to school for marketing, and started a really good company that made money. Like, why does it have to be this tragic, oh, my brother got murdered, I was in the hood fighting for my life? Like, oh, now he's Black. What?
Yeah, he could have stole Kamala Harris and just said, I went to an HBCU, so that gave me my Black card.
There you go. I graduated.
Went to Morehouse and whatever. Like, I don't understand why we have to equate Blackness with struggle.
But did you notice how the crowd did not respond when he said, I was a businessman making money, and the quote average Black person just stared at him like, what the fuck are you talking about? Then he went into the I got the strap story, and they were like, yes, like, we know you're Black now. And then they immediately had a reporter go, so did you kill her? No, he didn't do it because he's Black now, because he got the strap pulled down on him, and now the people are for him. I was like, God damn it. Oh, you make all of us look ignorant. All of us. Like, in this very scene.
If I was the DA, I would have said, oh, so she brought a lawsuit against you. A few weeks later, she's dead. Right? This guy pulls a strap on you. A few weeks later, he's dead.
Wow.
Let's check into that unsolved murder a few years, a few decades ago. Huh?
Jamani, man, you killing this shit. Oh, damn, I didn't even think about that.
I'm like, is Braden really a gangster? Like,
oh, shit. He's actually out here dropping bodies and nobody put it together. And then he's confessing to it.
Or his wife is, apparently.
His wife was sending So his wife is sending emails to said mistress. So
husband. Wasn't he sending it to the husband or to
no, to the the mistress. The husband found out about it and confronted her about it. So she's like, well, don't you want to know the rest how the story ends or whatever the fuck?
So basically, she knew he was screwing her the whole time. Is that what it's supposed to be getting?
At some point, yes. So also, how many
times? She has motive.
Exactly. So
but you skipped all the way to the end, because that was what she said when she called the guy at the end. Yes. She confronted when the guy confronted her at the event.
Yeah.
She said, "You better, tread lightly, or you end up like her."
True. They're trying to make her act like she's a legitimate suspect. I feel like the fact that they're trying this hard, she didn't do it because it would be kind of too obvious. But again, Jack should be like, it could have been his wife. Like, I mean, if you're trying to get your client off, you use whatever is available to you. You could be like, it could have been his wife. It could have been.
Yes, that's the title of the show, Reasonable Doubt.
They've done nothing to establish, dare we say, reasonable doubt. And then hold up. So first, again, he wasn't black enough for the black community. So then they were like, we got to make him black. Then he was too black for the white community. Because then we're like, we got to get rid of the white women because they might vote against him because he's so black. I'm like, but he got a white wife.
And they like cops. It wasn't like he killed a cop. Like, what was the whole cop thing about?
That's the other thing that pissed me off. Like, what? This is not a police brutality case. What does this have to do with anything?
Okay, so all right, so we're back to that. Okay, so I don't know.
Okay, I'll wait for some. Like, wait, after all that, I don't know.
How do you? Why? Okay, they mentioned a Babson challenge, right? A Babson challenge, right, is when you are just striking people off the jury based on like protected class, right? Now, this is black on black crime, right? Black man defendant, black woman victim. What does a white juror have to do with anything? Why would that cause any grounds for appeal? If you strike all the white women off the trial, what would it matter? She's not even, they went out of their way to prove that her husband's not even black.
Yeah. Well, to your point, Jack should have been striking women, period, off the jury. Because if he's seen as a woman beater, as a woman murderer,
and he cheated on his wife,
and you want women off the panel, like you want men who can understand. Because the story could be, I was being. You don't want to act like he did it, because we don't know what their defense is. But yeah, women, period, should have been off the jury. Black women in particular should have been off the jury, since that's what the victim looks like. And you got her cousin outside leading protests. So you really want women, and black women in particular, off the jury. You want white people who don't care about black lives, and therefore they don't care if this man gets off or not. I mean, that might actually help them.
She's saying, go on your gut. You've built companies. You went with your gut, and you've been with this woman, and then she hits you with this suit or whatever.
Rape case.
Obviously, you have bad judgment.
I like it. It don't make any sense. They had so Daniel hasn't looked for witnesses to that someone else could have gone to Kalisha's apartment that night. They haven't confirmed Braden's alibi, what he did after he left Kalisha's apartment.
So she seemed like she lived in a decent neighborhood. People have doorbell cameras.
Yeah.
In the suburbs.
He
perhaps go to the neighbors and, hey, do you have camera footage of that night?
That's traffic cams.
How about cell phones? This man probably drives a very, very fancy car with a GPS in that bitch that tracks where that thing goes, which means you can easily track that car. He has an iPhone, which tracks the fuck out of you. So both of those devices should tell you exactly where he was as she was being murdered and dying. Like, there's things that the investigator could.
What was the time of death?
No. To what you just said, right? Or to what you just said. At the end of the episode, the wife calls the husband, right?
Yeah.
And says, my father is head of one of the big one of the biggest communications companies in the world, which is like her getting somebody's phone number is an FTC violation. She's breaking the law. Like, we're talking about decades in jail just off that right there. But she could falsify the records and he could be scot-free right now.
Oh.
So why are you introducing stuff that is more or less biting the storyline, like
in that.
Yeah, she did what she just did by breaking the law to get this guy's phone number to taunt him or whatever she's doing. She could have just falsified some, got the records, or either falsified them if they proved the opposite and got him off.
You're right, bud. I did. So, Stacey, you were saying about the whole about the records.
I don't remember.
All right. So real quick. So the OJ thing behind me, I want to bring up that clearly she was going for the OJ I'm black defense, and Rich was the one that brought this up to her. Like, clearly we're trying to do this OJ shit. Then she gets offended. Like, look you white man trying to act like I'm trying to use race when you are. Even the district attorney said the same thing, and she was like, "Damn it, who are you to see what I'm doing? Fuck you." I don't know. Like, neither one of those made any kind of sense. Stacey, I want to get your thoughts on her Real Hood Wives of LA meeting, which is standard. And her pronunciation that her daughter did so well with the with the brought of her first period. I was like, what?
I don't understand the relevance to these women to the whole show. Like, what is the point? She's so stressed. She don't have enough time for her kids. She's hanging out with these grown women all the time, and she don't even really like them like that from the way she acts.
Chanel in particular, like they're doing a lot to put her and Chanel together when they made it very clear that she don't give a fuck about this woman. And now all of a sudden she's like going to her husband's thing and what's going on with you. And I didn't get all that, but I really didn't understand for her to be like, oh, daughter did so well with her first period. I fell apart. Your daughter thought boys got periods. She did not do well. Like, I'm like, that's not. She
didn't know what it was. Like, what is she gonna do?
Right? She's
been cramping for a whole week. You ignored her. She's like, my stomach hurts for a whole week.
You're like,
I don't have time for this. I'm going out with my friends.
But then, ironically, she apologizes for not going out with her friends. She was like, oh, girl, I'm sorry I missed our last meeting. You know, my life is getting ahead of me. Bitch, you've met these women every episode. Twice in the first episode. Like, what are you talking about? The one people you hang out with are your friends. Your kids, on the other hand, don't give a fuck about you. But your friends, they own that. So I didn't get any of that. But Jumanji, what do you think about the friends? Are the friends relevant? Are they getting this episode show from point A to point B?
That's what her friends.
No, I'm like, I don't know what this show, like, we're very close to the halfway point, and I don't know what a lot of the storylines purposes are, because I'm like, I don't understand the friends. I don't understand Damon. I don't understand Will. I don't understand, like, I understand she has a life and you have to fill it out, but why is there so much drama? Like, the drama that's in one episode could be spread out through a whole season.
For the family stuff, yeah. I mean, definitely the friend stuff could be a whole show by itself, and it's not really helping the law stuff get from point A to point B. I don't get that. So Stacey, what do you think about Will's stalking that's now turned into physical surveillance?
You're a lawyer. Get like some type of paperwork on this dude and get rid of him. Like, what is the point of Will? Is he the one that's gonna shoot her, kidnap her, and shoot her? Because otherwise, there's no point. And even that's not really a point, because why? They had sex one time.
That chicken was good.
There are other chicken.
I would have said restraining order. If he's still on paper, as parole officer.
She needs to find out what his criminal record is and do something. I don't know.
And then she tells no one. She doesn't tell her husband. She doesn't tell her investigator. She don't tell anybody that she's being followed by this dude now. First, he was texting unwantedly. Now he's showing up to my house unwantedly. And she's done nothing about any of this.
Conveniently, her husband disabled the cameras so he can conveniently come in and attack her, I guess.
The cameras were turned off so she can conveniently fuck Michael Ealy.
That too.
I feel that. I feel that's. And then if she was so worried about the cameras, she could just took the cameras out. Apparently, she's a handy woman. She didn't
cover them up.
Or like, why does he have to? And this is after he saw. What made me mad is that he did it after he saw her cry, and he didn't even acknowledge it. Hey, are you okay? I saw you crying last week. I'm assuming it was last week. Like, you want to talk about it? Is something on your heart? He just like, nah, fuck it. I don't want to be a part of this emotional shit. I can watch you fuck another man though. I'm okay with that. But this crying stuff, he was like, anyway. It's Giovanni. Where do you think Will is going? What do you think? What's the purpose of Will?
I've no idea. He doesn't serve any, like, I don't know. Like, maybe I initially thought that what's the friend's name? Chanel. I thought that Chanel was gonna end up getting with him, and then Jax gets jealous or something, and something. But that doesn't seem like that's gonna be. I don't know. It really doesn't. I don't know.
I agree. It does not make any sense. I think they want us to believe that he'll be the one to take her down. I still think it's Theo. I think Theo they're doing a good job of making him annoying but not threatening. Like he's egging on Rich, but he's not pushing too hard per se. And he's that angry white man or whatever. But I think it's probably gonna end up being him. Damon. So Damon's story of my drug dealing brother gave me a wad of money, which somehow he can't still pay for dinner.
Wait. He has a job, right? He has a job. So why doesn't he have money? His brother,
he has money in his account.
Huh?
But the card goes to his account because he said, "Look at my receipt. I have money in my account."
Is this like
but the
EBT
card
card?
doesn't work? What kind of card doesn't have a MasterCard or Visa, American something?
That's not a thing.
What kind of restaurant doesn't take debit cards?
That's what I'm saying. Is this a summer youth program or a benefits card or something like that? Like,
that's what I was thinking. Was he paying with an EBT card? Because that's the only thing that would have made sense to me.
Diners Club. That's why I asked him about remember the Diners Club card? I felt like he was going Diners Club on this, and he was like, "Damn it!" Because when I went to jail, that's what I had, and now because all my check is, I got to check it in the savings, and all the money's in my savings, and it takes 2-3 business days. But I got a
no. He said at the end of the episode, he said, "I haven't gotten my checks yet." When you open up a bank account, they just give you like 5 checks. It's just generic. Like, like you have to get the monogrammed. She has to get the monogrammed ones that you order.
Yes.
Like, I'm like, it wasn't an ATM between that mechanic shop and her house. You could have left it in the mailbox.
No, he had to show up to the house. But so the money thing. So to the point, Jamani, the fact that he works for his brother. If that's your boss and he wants to give you money, he can just put it into your paycheck so it don't look suspicious that you're walking around with a wad of hundreds that you just put in your brother's pocket, not once but twice. So I'm like, this is some Tariq Book 2 shit. But it's like, how many re-ups is this kid gonna get? I was like,
I can understand that. It's dirty money. I don't want a paper trail. Off the book stays off the books. But he works there, so there has to be that record.
And where's the PO who's supposed to show up to check this shit out? Not the racist white one, but the new friendly black one, I guess. Like, where's that PO who to be like, clearly there's some shit going on around here? Ultimately, Damon ends up in jail next episode anyway. So clearly, the drug dealing thing comes back to bite him in the ass. But he took that money. He took that first wad of money and then got some lunch. I mean, so he had money on his person. So it made no sense that and who walks around with a paper receipt to be like, look here, massa, I got my freedom papers and I got my bank's balance on my, That's not even a thing. That wasn't even a thing in 2006 when he went to jail. That's not a thing. That's not a thing.
That was a thing in 2006.
People walk around with their bank receipt.
I remember dudes be like, "Look at my ATM receipt," to try to get you. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Oh,
they
okay,
do that.
not
They do
an
that.
ATM receipt. This was a letter. This
I
was
thought he
like,
showed like an ATM receipt or something.
No. It was his balance sheet. He was like, look at my balance. I got. So stunting on a woman, Vice, this is how I'm paying for food. He had to know the difference. He had to know that's
But
not
he was trying to stunt, which is why he was paying for the food.
But that's when you whip out that cash and be like 100, 200, and be like, I'm making it rain, baby. I'm making it rain.
And that would have made more
does he
sense
not
if the
know how
restaurant
credit
was
cards
like, "Oh,
work?
we don't
'Cause I'm
take
like,
cash."
What, Giovanni? What you say?
That
Does
would
he
make
not know
more
how
sense.
credit cards work?
Giovanni, hold up. Giovanni, hold up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Look, Stacy, please.
That would make more sense if the restaurant said, "Hey, we don't take cash or whatever. We're cards only." And then he was like, "Oh, I just use my card and you just give me the cash." That would make more sense. The non-Visa card makes no sense. I've never seen a non-Visa card since like my first bank account in like high school. It was just like a little ATM card back then.
Yeah, facts. Like every card has some kind of. Is MasterCard even in business? Because everything says Visa these days.
MasterCard, yes, very much so.
I was like,
Even Discover, like
Discover, always predatory lending on college kids. But
they got me. Yep. Free pizza. Sign here. Absolutely.
Damn it. So Jemani, I'm sorry. You were saying.
I was saying, like, how does he not know how credit cards work? They were a thing
He didn't have
15 years ago. You could go to like whatever your receipt that's printed out says. You could have spent that money 5 minutes ago and be showing that to somebody. Like, it doesn't mean anything. It's not in real time.
Yeah. But then he shows up to her house like a creeper. This is the second man that's popped up at her place.
You couldn't call him. He's like, "Oh, I didn't want to call you." What?
I didn't want to
show up at my house.
Oh, there she is. She's like, I didn't want to seem weird, so I just showed up in your house in the middle of the night.
It's weird. Man, don't show up at nobody's house. Ever. You might get shot.
Right? Or a lawyer might be like, I'm getting a restraining order out on you, as we discussed. Because that's what's smart. But this, so really, to really talk about that, we got to talk about her and Lewis situation. So, because this is
Aaron did.
Oh, look, yeah, that's right. I mean, you look lovely.
Huh?
You look lovely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It took a little while, so sorry guys, I apologize.
No.
Go ahead, continue.
No, we're out here. So we are. I wanted to get into Lewis's situation, and how particularly his conversation with Jax in the car once again, which I thought was going to lead to a chicken scene. It did not.
Yeah. Why are they always in the car?
It don't make sense. Like, your kids know that their daddy lives and he's around, so you just bring him in the house so y'all can have a conversation. Like, why is it always in the car? I don't know. But what were they talking about when she said, "Why are we here? Like, why are we in this?" To me, as I took it, why are we in this situation? And they just stared at each other and was like, And then
I was waiting for an answer too.
I didn't get that. Kim, since you are here, that particular scene, what do you think? What's going on with Lewis and Jax? Do you feel like we're understanding their relationship?
No, because they're not telling us anything about their relationship, except we know they're freaks, right? We know that. But other than that, we don't really. Okay, we know that he gave her. He asked her to cut down her hours at work, right? We know that part. But do we know what really is causing this underneath that? Because it seems like there's an underlining issue. I don't know if she cheated, he cheated. Oh, there you go. Sorry.
I don't think cheating is an issue between these two.
Yeah, I don't.
They clearly have similar taste and activities, so not a problem.
Kim is back. Hold on. We'll let Kim and then we'll go to Jamani real quick. So Kim, what anything else?
There's something else. I mean, if are we in agreement that there's something other than asking her that? Because
I hope there is something else, because if not, this is some bullshit.
if there's nothing else, that's ridiculous. Like, that's ridiculous, because he knows she's a lawyer. He married a lawyer. He knew what was going to be going on, right?
Yeah.
He knew that she was going to be busy with cases. She wouldn't be home at normal hours. We all know this if you're a lawyer, right? Because you have to do research and defend people and do all, you have to investigate the case, right? So there's something else. I think he cheated. I think he cheated.
All right.
And he's using that whole, you work too much as an excuse.
All right. Jamani, what do you think? What's going on with this relationship?
I don't think he cheated, because I think she would have alluded or something to it, even if she didn't outright say it. I haven't seen any of that.
If the show was written right, yeah, that would happen. That would. No, seriously. I mean, it should, right? If it was written the way it should be written, she should absolutely be saying, well, you know what you did. But he should be saying it to her also, right?
Yeah.
You know what
he is somewhat saying, he's alluding to something towards her, but I'm not seeing it coming back the other way on him, though.
So I thought, to that point, that maybe she was referring to the Will situation, but they've been separated for 3 months before the Will thing popped up. So it doesn't make sense that this is the thing that's still keeping them apart.
I think it has to do something with why he got Will to begin with, like something of danger or assumed danger, or I don't know.
Well, then
why would you have why the kids living with her? Yeah. Move your kids to your house as like primary care, and I mean they can go visit their mom, but I think that their home base should be with the dad, because your dad's going to protect you, right? And then you can have someone that's there to protect his wife too, but don't put your kids in danger. Don't have them in the house with the person that has someone after them.
No, I think it was, she's a lawyer, so she's going to get, her visitation or custody. That's not even the argument. So he got Will to only be there while the kids are there. They're like, he's protecting, because he's not there like 24/7 or following her around. He's there, it seems like, when the kids were there.
Nah, he was there at night, period.
Yeah,
and I'm saying the kids were there that night, like
not when they were fucking. So no, so like,
I
so
living room.
So it's like no, he was there to protect her and the house. Whether the kids are there or not would be more. But we still don't know why, though.
Yeah, like what happened? Because I mean, I have cousins who are lawyers. They don't have people protecting them. I mean, and they work for firms and stuff.
Are they criminal lawyers?
Huh?
Are they criminal lawyers?
Yes. One is a criminal lawyer. Yes. And they don't have people to protecting them. They just do their jobs and hope nothing happens. I mean.
Well, I mean, to Jemiah's point, if it was to protect the kids, then Will would have been at the school with the kids. He would have took the kids to school, brought the kids home, and then it would be like more like a nanny bodyguard situation. Like like he was introduced at the house as Jax was coming home, and he just randomly showed up to the car. So like even that didn't make a lot of damn sense. But they still haven't defined what's, and then Lewis is putting it on Jax on why he's not back at home. He's like, you're shutting me down. You won't forgive me. I'm like, forgive you for what? You're the one that left because of her choice and her job. So what does she got to forgive you for that you need to come back? Like that doesn't make any sense in that part of that conversation. So like, I don't know. But that kind of stemmed to the father conversation. So we heard the father, we didn't see the father. So she's having she's having biological daddy issues. What do we think of that? Daddy asking to meet, mom said, I'm not coming. Then she told dad not to show up unless he's serious, and he didn't show up, and she had a tantrum and blamed him for it. Blamed the mom for it. Jemani, what do you think of daddy's situation? Is it valid? Is it going somewhere?
I thought that was the most realistic part of the show.
All right.
That yeah, whether it's Lewis and Spencer or Jax and her mother, and you know, the non-father that we're not seeing, you know, that whole situation, that's like the realest part of the show that doesn't have any, you know, other like continuity type of issues or anything like that. It just seems real honest to me. Like I don't have any. Yeah, I think it sounds authentic.
All right. Kim, what do you think of her reaction to daddy not showing up again, like blaming the mom for it, and then blaming Lewis for not supporting her efforts to defend her dad in that situation?
Okay, first off, when the father involved the mother in a meeting with his daughter, that's a mistake, right? They're no longer married. She is now married to another man. So the relationship between him and his daughter has nothing to do with the mother anymore. This is a woman in her 30s who can make her own decisions. If she wants to meet her dad, she can meet her dad. If she doesn't want to meet her dad, she doesn't have to, right? So that didn't make any sense to me to put the mother, I got to call the wife first, my ex-wife first, to have her be there when me and the daughter meet. That's ridiculous. She's not a child. So I thought that was ridiculous. But then when the mother like told the father to, you know, don't go if you're not going to be all in, like don't come visit her and then don't see her again for another 3 years, right? That's none of her business. Her daughter is a grown woman. If the father hurts her again, that's between those two. So I thought that whole thing was ridiculous. Like, didn't make any sense to me. So, and then when she was talking to Lewis telling his wife, like, oh, you'll let your father in, you give him a chance, but you're not giving me a chance. That tells me something. Lewis did something to her. Yeah. So, and they're not talking about it. They're not letting the audience in on what the secret is that's keeping them apart, right? Mm-hmm. So it's something that Lewis did. And then and Lewis being like, oh, you can forgive him, whatever. Well, pump your brakes. He's my dad, right? He gave me life. Because without him, you wouldn't even know me, right? So yeah, sometimes we do make mistakes by forgiving our loved ones, but it's family, right? Your family makes mistakes, right? So, and she needs her father. Like, and most people do need a dad. That's the problem that people don't understand. Just because you're grown doesn't mean you don't need your parents. Like, you know, you want them to be there for you. You want to be able to talk to them, get advice from them. The stuff that's going on with Spencer, maybe she wants to bounce that off her dad. Like, what do you think I should do, Dad? Right? So, but I thought Lewis was out of pocket. Like, understand, I hated my mother-in-law. I hated her, but I never voiced it to my ex-husband. I was like, your mom doesn't like me. It's fine with me. That's fine. That's the way she wants to be. But when he felt like she was doing things that he didn't like towards me, he would let her know because that's her son, right? So Lewis was out of pocket, in my opinion. It has nothing to do with his marriage. The father, none of your business.
I think it was just that he's stating that she has barriers up. Like she's like he can never, like the father can never do any wrong, but she has barriers up for any and everybody else except for him. And it's like he's actually doing stuff to you and nobody else is, but yet you have barriers up towards other people who haven't done you wrong, whereas you have your barriers down for him who constantly is doing you wrong.
Yeah, but we don't know. But that's the thing. Lewis, he did something to her, but we don't know what it is.
Yeah.
He has done something to her. So yes, she should have a barrier up. What did he do? Can they tell us? Are they going to string this out the way they do Raising Canaan? Unnecessary. All this is unnecessary.
Stacey, what are your thoughts?
I don't think he did anything to her. I think whatever happened in her childhood has made her like have boundary issues, right? So I think that that's just with everybody, including her husband. Her issues with her dad, she wants to have a dad. All girls do, right? And we don't know what was up with the stepdad, which keeps coming up, but what happened? We don't know. So I don't understand with the whole, you know, you know how I feel about Black fathers. I don't know why they continue to give us shitty Black father examples. That conversation she had with her mother, I was under the assumption that the mother said that to the dad when she was a child. Like, look, don't keep coming around if you're not going to be consistent. That would make sense as a child. As an adult, you have nothing to do with it. So why are you even having a conversation with the mother when you want to visit your grown ass daughter? It doesn't make sense. So I just assumed that that was a conversation from back in the day, and maybe she's mad about it now. I don't know. Either way, the storyline makes no fucking sense.
Absolutely. Totally agree. Yeah.
So this provides the foundation for when Damon shows up. Because then Damon was like, hey, I'm the light-skinned savior who thinks I don't know shit about you or your father, but you should do your part for your daddy because you should. And she was like, I'm fucking you because you said exactly what I wanted to hear. And I'm like, what? I was like, this.
But at dinner, didn't he say, like, she was talking about her dad, but then basically he was like, all right, well, let's talk about something else. Didn't he do that? I could have sworn. I just watched it a little while ago. Damon was kind of like at dinner, she was saying stuff about what was going on with her dad, but he kind of shushed that. Like, you know, that's all on you, whatever. And then he was like talking about other stuff. Like talking about Braden.
Yeah, about the trial. So I see that, but apparently somehow he said the right words at that moment, I guess after dealing with Lewis, and it was just weird for her to be like, "Oh, my kids are there, so I won't invite you in." What about the car? You ain't got no problems getting freaky in the car. Just take him to your car. I mean, how did he get there in the first fucking place? I mean, was it he walked his happy broke ass. I'm like, go to your car and have a private conversation so your son who hates you don't see you trying to get some in front of the house. Like
a train, or he could have went on a cab. He could have been on the train, but
he could have Uber. But she got a nice what's that called? Tesla. She has a nice Tesla outside.
But he can't figure out a credit card. Do you think that he would figure out Uber?
Also, good point. This dumb motherfucker can't
Cash App or Zelle
or something. I do in some ways. I do appreciate the fact that he hasn't got the chicken yet. So family business will be after this. I know we're kind of going to run over a little bit, Miss Sharon, but that will be our next video once we get done with this silly shit. But I wanted to kind of wrap this thing up. Anyway, so like they're still also stretching things out. Her conversation with her mother was straight out of Raising Kanan. For her to be like,
which part?
I'm sorry your father disappointed you. Stepdad disappointed me too. No, stepdad raped you. Like let's not. That's a whole different thing. Like, can we get to this, please? Because what the fuck does that even mean? She's like, he disappointed me. Okay, so what? I'm like, what? And again, is she trying to?
I'm hoping they don't go that route. I'm thinking it's something else.
No, you're hoping it's something else.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's something else.
You're hoping something else. Nah.
Yeah.
Maybe he called her a nigga or something and she never got over it. I don't know. I'm hoping it's not that.
We all hope. We all hope. But yeah, he did that shit. Because the whole her daughter said, one, if I find out that after 12 years that your father molested you and my daughter is sitting on this motherfucker's lap and spending private time with this dude, I'm mad at you. Like, I'm like, you should have told me this shit a long time ago. Because he would not be spending no time with my child. I'm saying, like, you working that shit out with your mom and your stepdad is one thing, but motherfucker, you ain't putting my child in this shit. I mean, I would be very, very, very angry.
Sure.
I mean, fuck. Because when she saw her daughter sitting on his lap, she freaked the fuck out, went home and fucked Will. I mean, she had a whole lot of things
That's
going on.
not an appropriate response.
That's what I was about to say, Stacey. That was odd. That was an odd response. But I guess we're not supposed to put those two together, but that's what happened.
But that is what happened. she got all emotional. Oh shit, I gotta what's some Will dick. Anyway, Jemani, what?
Donkey dick.
Oh, excuse me, that's only for black. Oh, that's
So what does that make her if she's, you know what? No.
Okay.
A donkey dick lover.
Oh, that sounds bad. That sounds bad. We don't know who got. It was just a phrase. It was a phrase. We don't know who had said dick. So what do you think, Jemani? What's going on with Daddy, stepdaddy? Do you think he did something? What you got?
Yeah, I think that did happen, and I think that just listening to you guys, I'm like, maybe it's all intertwined. Maybe she had some sort of panic attack, freak out or something. You know, not in public, but like, you know, like within the amongst the immediate family, you know, her kids, her parents or whatever. And she blamed it on, oh, you know, it was really about the stepfather, and she blamed it on work or a client or something like that. Yeah. And Lewis is like, well, maybe you need to slow down with work or something like that. And he's not, and she's not letting him in, and she's not telling him the truth. And he's just basically trying to play catch up and playing guessing games. And it's really about this whole stepfather situation and him being around the kids and all of that type of stuff.
I think that particular episode, that's what happened. That particular episode, because she was like, oh my God, and then that, you know, Lewis getting mad at her and whatever, so she was like, I just gotta go. Because she just but she knew that was his birthday party. Like, she knew why she was there. So to be like, oh my God, my stepfather.
No, I'm saying that was that. I'm saying the 3 months before that led to their split.
Oh, okay. You say somehow that's part of the split, like a root cause of the split is what you're saying.
Like we're seeing like the after effects. Like, yes. She's like, oh, I know what happened last time, so I got to get out of here this time before it happens again.
All right. So either way, we got to flush that. We got to flush that shit out. Daniel needs. I don't know why he didn't file charges against this woman for whooping his ass, and her boyfriend for whooping his ass, and then made excuses on top of that to be like, "Well, I was following them creepily. They had no choice but to beat my ass." I was like, "No, yes, they did. Yes, they did. Let's not do that."
How are you in the hospital and like there's no police report? There's no like. Nobody comes to ask questions.
I slip and fell and beat my own ass, and nobody asks nothing.
And I'm like, when I saw the end of the episode 3, all I could think about was New Jack City. I was just like, it just reminded me of Scotty, come save me. They about to kill me.
It did, and then for him to be like, "Oh, you like me because you came to see me," like she's trying to make sure you don't sue her. I mean, basically, because she put you in that situation, so you can be like, "Hey, I'm gonna sue you for this workman's comp or some shit." But I'm sure she cared. But that is
turn into some Asian hate crime or something,
right? Well, they're black, so they can't do that. It's like the black. But that can easily be an Asian hate crime. They should have went that route. Like I said, if that Korean landlord guy would have found out, he'd be like, I told you about them black folks, didn't I? And he's like, yeah, you're right. I don't want to be like that, but you're right. We got to see where this bullshit case goes. They never pulled Braden's passport. We don't even know if because he can flees a flight risk. Like, there's all kinds of shit that just basically should be happening. But we will see where this show goes and how racism plays a role, because ultimately he's going to get off for being black. But anyway, all right, so let's wrap this thing up so we can get to another silly show, The Family and the Business. Since Miss Sharon is asking for that. Stacey, any final thoughts for the...
No.
All right. Jemani, what you got?
Okay. I know that they're not going to tie everything together in a nice bow like I would like them to, but is this person that Braden was talking about, his brother who got shot, the 2 weeks later, was was his brother quote addicted to crack? You know, the tropes that they're going on. You know, that pulled the gun on him, and you know, was he alluding to something, you know, familiar, and then, you know, whatever happened, and you know, he's giving hints and clues, and it's going to lead to something, but I don't see the story coming together like that. I'm just, you know, there was no Jay-Z music this episode. I kind of see why he wouldn't license his stuff to this particular episode, and yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
All right, then we will see what happened next week. Kim, in 5 hours.
I'm waiting for her husband to hem up Spencer.
Yeah.
Because he's out of control.
Yeah.
Remember we talked about that. He's out of control. And I don't understand why he still has all his fronts. Like, like all these should be gone. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. But something should have happened by now, because when, like I told y'all, when he closed that door on her twice, that I would have opened the door and bust him in the chest. What is wrong with you? This is my house, right? So I need Lewis to be a dad and stop being a friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your dad.
Yeah.
And get your son straight. Okay. Because basically that's the son is acting like his mother is all to blame. A marriage takes 2 people. Yeah. So we don't know what's going on, just like he don't know what's going on. So anywho, yeah, I want that to be straightened out. And I need the mother to stop being as nosy as she is. She is way too involved in everything in that woman's life. Like, calm down, stop it. Yeah, I mean, she is. And then what is the guy? The lawyer that she's working with, Paul, I think.
Rich.
He is just having temper tantrums. Calm down. Like, you said that, you know, she's the only criminal attorney in there. Just let her do her job. Yes, you can have some input, but don't like start, but why didn't you ask me? Just relax. Let her do what she does, right? Okay. Other than that, you know, it's cool. And can we know what's going on between them? Like, can we know why Lewis and
Jax.
Jax are not living in the same house? I'd like to know that. Yeah. Like the actual reason.
The actual reason. Yeah. This whole you're a lawyer with dangerous clients don't make no damn sense. I mean,
it makes some sense, but it doesn't mean it's not the ending of a marriage, right?
It's not. And if she was a prosecutor, right? Like, that would make sense. You put somebody away, their family comes get you, like a defense attorney, like you actually, like, you're helping people. And she's a corporate, she's like a high level, like, lawyer. Like, she ain't dealing with street thugs and shit. Like, right. I'm like, so that doesn't.
She does deal with street thugs. Damon was one.
She was a public defender, and some of those people went to jail, and their family are coming to get her.
Could be.
If she was still a public defender, that would be a good show. Or some threat, some external threat, like that would have been something. But like this, apparently
there's some external threat because Lou's hired security.
I don't know. He's a micromanager. I don't know what's going on with him.
Wasn't Damon her last case?
Yes.
So they waited 15 years.
Yes. He was in jail. I'm saying, so yeah. I mean, but now he's back, and now he's about to give it to her.
No, I'm saying if the family members of her former client.
Oh, I get you. Now they're waiting 15 years.
Have the resources before.
Yeah, that's right. They didn't know who she was till they saw her on TV. They're like, "Oh my God, you defending this black OJ looking motherfucker? I got you."
Yes, that's it.
That's what they're coming after for the community. It don't make any sense. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, we out here, guys. Thank you guys very much for watching. Jamani, thank you very much for joining us. We will see you next week for episode 5. Maybe by then we'll know what this man is charged with. Maybe. I doubt it. But anyway, we got a lot of things coming for you. We got we got family business coming up right now. And then we will post our reporting schedule tomorrow. So